one of the things that we need to reflect upon, the issue of evaluating ourselves. Very important for everyone to evaluate himself or herself. Why? Of course, starting with ourselves. Usually we evaluate others, and we know about others. If you ask anyone about his friends, his colleagues, his family members, they give you a long report about them. But the problem when you ask him or her about himself or herself, they know nothing. And this is a big problem, very big problem. To evaluate yourself, to know what's going on, because we live in this short life, not long life. Even though if it's 80 years old, if you become 80 years old or 70 years old, you are nothing. So you need to realize your goodness. We have goodness, alhamdulillah. Every one of us, we have goodness within. But we need to invest this goodness. We have treasures. Okay. Many people, they live long time without investing these treasures in their life. Now every one of us can become an alim, a doctor, a scholar, a figure in this society. But we accept this situation. So you say it's very hard because I'm, working 24/7, and I don't have enough time to work on my soul and to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. Just salat the wajib, and that's it. That's enough. Why? And I just mentioned in my lecture in Arabic, the Prophet, he was living with more than 9 wives, at least. And that's a very hard task, because now if you have 1 wife, you have to take Panadol every maybe day or Tylenol. With all due respect to the women, inshallah, those who are mu'min, but in general. So evaluating yourself or ourselves to invest our life in a very best way, not to waste our time. Now for our young people, our dear young people, they have enough time to read the Quran, to study the Quran, to make some books about this holy book of Allah Azza wa Jal, to be good reciter, just like Brother Zuhair, may Allah bless him, inshallah, and others. See, whenever I go to the conferences, I see, unfortunately, non-Arab, they are the reciters of the Quran. Most of the time. Where are the Arab? They know nothing from Arabic except their names, maybe. Nah. Alhamdulillah. So we encourage our people, our families, our parents to invest their children. Anyway, we need this very important point. I don't want to take much of your time. We need this point. I want to focus on this point. So we have goodness, alhamdulillah, every one of us, and we need to know the mechanism of investing this goodness in our life. It's not easy to ask someone to come and pray and drag him to the masjid or to the conference and go there and hear. But after a long time or after a short time, you realize that this son or this daughter is not religious. This is the problem. Why? Because you don't nurture him properly, the Islam. We need to live Islam. We need to live every single thing in our religion that is related to our life. Now, for example, if you tell your son or daughter that, okay, read the Quran, what's the benefit of this? No benefit. Practically, there is no benefit based on their criteria. But in reality, there is a benefit. Allah Azza wa Jalla, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ. This is nur. They need light in their life. They need guidance. Those who have Quran, they have guidance in their life. Those who don't have Quran, they have nothing. They have nothing. And you have many ayat about this. So, you need to know yourself, then you need to know others. I don't ask you to be judgmental, but you have to know others because you don't have to be fooled by them. You need to make connection with them, to get married with them, for example. You need to react with them. So those people, if you don't know about them, it's very hard. Then you say, okay, I married my daughter or my son to this family, but now I become fooled because I don't know about them. They are religious and they have long beard, but now, unfortunately, they are not religious. I remember when I went to Hajj, my first Hajj, 20 years ago. So especially we travel with someone very important to travel with someone or to live with him, for several specific time. When I went to Hajj, the first day, the first hour actually, 2 hours, when we reached Medina, salawatullah ala sakiniha wa ala ahli baytihi al-tahirin. When we reached there to Medina, the Mu'arrif, the head of the Hamla caravan, he promised us to bring some food as dinner, sham. So he broke his promise. He didn't break any food because he said, I brought someone to cook for you tomorrow, inshallah, not today. So in the first 2 hours, some people, not all of them, they start cursing each other with using very bad words. Can you imagine? Hujjaj, the first day in Medina, because they don't have ability to wait, to have patience for 2 hours, 3 hours. And it was very easy that in Saudi, that even now, you can go and buy a yogurt in 1 riyal, nothing. You can eat that, that's it. Or some dates, some tamar. But those people, subhanAllah, the first day you realize that those, mashallah, very good hujjaj, special hujjaj. And that happens every time. Can you imagine? We have some people, and even us, sometimes you are just like a pool. When the pool is quiet, the water is quiet, everything's okay. But when you try to move this water, you see the dirt comes out on the surface. Same thing. The poet, the well-known poet, I think one of the Lebanese poets, he said, أغضب صديقك تستطلع سريرته للسكر نافذتان كذا الغضب يقول ما صرح الحوض عما في قرارته من راسب الطين إلا وهو مضطرب. The pool, there is a dirt in the bottom of the pool every time, always, but you don't know. Whenever you bring a stick and you try to move the water, you see the dirt. Same thing with us. Try to make some purchase with someone. Give him money, and after 2 months, hey, I need my money. Try to know this person better. That's very important, brothers and sisters. We live in a time we need to have awareness about ourselves first, then about others. And this is the way, the manhaj, the method of the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt, salamullah alayhim. It is the mu'min should not be fooled by the others and by even himself. You think you are a good person, but after 40 years, and that's very sad and tragic thing. After 40 years, you remember the story. One of the ulama, he said, I entered the masjid, I think in Iran, entered the masjid after a long time. So, and this is another story for Sheikh Abbas Qummi. We have another story. Someone of the Hujjaj, he used to pray in the first row. Usually first row in Jama'ah prayer. This is for special people, elite people. Those who have, mashallah, ability to pronounce good, because anything happens to the imam, they have to come and continue, not to break the salat. Anyway, this man came and he saw the first row is full. So he prayed behind last row. He felt ashamed by this. Why? Because he said, 4 years I pray in the first row, not for Allah Azza wa Jal, because for this status, mashallah, it's very good because I'm mu'min. Whenever he put himself in this test, he failed. We need to put ourselves in some times to judge ourselves, to evaluate ourselves, to know our life better, to know our way better, inshallah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us this awareness, this wa'i, this nur, this basira. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.